Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is under fire after reports that he ordered a second strike on a suspected drug-smuggling vessel, killing 2 survivors clinging to the wreckage. According to the sources cited by the Washington Post, Hegseth allegedly issued a verbal directive to U.S. service members to, quote, kill everybody, end quote, with a second strike that would leave no survivors, a directive that a special operations commander reportedly followed. On Sunday, the pushback was bipartisan. Some Democrats and even some senior Republicans called the strike a possible war crime. Leaders in the House and Senate Armed Services Committees pledged vigorous oversight of the operation. Hegseth denied the claims, calling the story fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory. When asked to clarify if he was saying there was no second strike on the boat, President Trump told the press yesterday, "I don't know." This is his quote. "I'm going to find out about it, but Pete said he did not order the death of those 2 men," end quote. And the controversy deepened on Sunday when Hegseth posted a disturbing meme, a parody children's book cover showing the cartoon turtle character Franklin launching a missile at a boat titled "Franklin Targets Narco Terrorists." And he captioned it, "For your Christmas wish list." Congress and international observers are demanding answers. And for many, the question is no longer just about legality, but morality. What are your thoughts? Should Hegseth be investigated or even removed from office? Give us a call, 713-440-8870.
Makes you wonder if this wasn't what the Democrats were referring to when they said, do not follow illegal orders.
That's true, because this actually happened back in September.
So they know something we
maybe
didn't know.
The leak. You were asking that question when the 6 Democrats had released that video talking about.
I think that was right. I think they knew something that we did not know, and this is it.
Wow.
And at some point, Hegseth said this was legal. It was run up the chain of command. Everybody agreed this was legal, and those 2 survivors could have radioed for more help and more boats to come and take them away safely, as well as the drugs that were on board. And then that excuse kind of disappeared. But even here's the thing.
He's claiming it was fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory.
Well, if you're at war with a country or whatever we're in with this, but if we're at war, then if someone does not pose a threat, it is illegal to kill them.
Correct.
And, if we're at a war, so assuming we are, those 2 people don't pose a threat that are clinging for life on a boat. But that's when he said, oh, yes, they did. The threat was that they could still radio for more boats and more help. That was still a threat. So that was justifying it. Then later, he and Trump were saying, no, there was no second strike ordered. So it's like you don't get it both ways. Either there was or there wasn't. And if there wasn't, why were you trying to justify why it was there in the first place?
Right. And I think when we look at something like this, when we're looking at our defense secretary to the United States of America, regardless of party, we want transparency. Now, I understand that there are, very important and critical information that they can't disclose to the public. However, whenever there are allegations coming out of it, something as serious as this, I would hope that the defense secretary would have more common sense not to troll his critics by posting a very controversial meme.
Yes.
And to me, that is also the issue. To me, this is when I'm looking at the Defense Secretary of the United States of America, I expect more than a meme from a child's book.
It's gross.
That
Franklin
says,
is that
for
cute
your
little turtle.
Christmas, right?
Yeah,
for your Christmas wish list.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is,
turtle.
yes, he is the Secretary of War now. He is calling himself, and the president is calling him. And I understand that war is, quote unquote, war is hell. But humanity still must exist. And a comment, kill everybody, a sweeping statement supposedly said by Hegseth, is just disturbing on so many levels.
Right. Now, that is an allegation. Again, we don't know.
Right.
It came out that is essentially the
Washington
allegation
Post
against
is reporting
it.
that.
And
right.
I
It's an
read
allegation. To me, that is okay. That's fine. Let's look into the defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, see what he says. But then posting a meme about it to me is just
right.
That's
insult to injury, as they say.
Well, I read also that he may have said, leave no survivors, which is not the same as kill everybody, but that could be interpreted as kill everybody.
Washington Post is reporting it quoted as kill everybody. So I'm just saying that out there. And that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like if I tell you leave no survivors and you tell him over there kill everybody. Well, then the quote is kill everybody, even though that's not
and
really
I will
what
tell
I
you,
said.
in reporting the story, I went back to see when the quote unquote kill everybody was said. Was it before the first strike or after the first strike? And the sources that I'm looking at say it came after the first strike when there was reports that there were survivors. Yeah. So it wasn't just he had initially said when you do this strike, kill everybody. No.
So well, again, I think it's a war crime that should be investigated.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts? Should Hegseth be investigated or removed? Give us a call, 713-440-8870. We are getting some YouTube comments that, let's see here. Braden Arnold, 6332, says he needs to resign. He needed to resign after the Signal chat fiasco, and he needs to resign and face justice even more now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he's saying Mark Kelly should be pulled back into the military and tried court-martialed. And here, this guy is committing war crimes, maybe, allegedly, possibly. I don't want to say he is because I don't know, but I think it should be interpreted.
Well, the thing is that those are very, very, very strong allegations, and for a major news outlet to be posting that's very serious. And if it's not true, then the defense secretary has every right to sit there and say, this is allegations. I do think that, he's saying that this is all false and all this. But then to go back and post something so just...
Yeah.
Yeah. It shows...
The meme is awful.
Even if, in fact, it turns out that is not an exact quote of what he said, there's an environment in which you can believe that to be true, and that we've gotten to a point where we can believe it to be true by the behavior of posting that meme and the recklessness of offhanded comments that comes out of this administration. I think we all come from a time not that long ago when words that came from that high up were taken as doctrine. Mm-hmm. And to think that things can be said about this administration, oh, well, that was a joke. Oh, that wasn't meant. That was meant in jest. When it comes from this level of authority in our nation, it has to be taken as serious. Mm-hmm. And we have to have responsibility for what we say.
We do have a call.
713-440-8870. Kevin from Sugar Land is on the line. Kevin, what are you thinking?
Hi, folks. As much as it pains me to say this, in fact, I think we've lost the moral high ground to investigate Hegseth and, frankly, anyone with the administration because we, frankly, allowed Israel to do the same, if not on a far worse scale, in Gaza, and given the fact that we did turn the cheek for whatever reason on potential war crimes as the ICC had put it out there, and then in fact we went after the ICC for those potential war crimes indictments on the Israeli leadership, I think we have unfortunately foregone the moral aspect of going after Hegseth specifically on this topic.
Well, but Kevin, policing other countries is more talk than action. I mean, you do your best, but I don't know that we could police other countries, at least not the same way we can police our own military.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, certainly, no, Frank, I completely agree with you. I think we certainly have, and we were the global policemen for a very long time. But, when it comes specifically to what happened in the Israel-Gaza situation, as horrible as it was for either side, I think we had a very strong moral stake to play the high ground there, which unfortunately we did not. And that would cause, I think, the global change in both the U.S. and Israeli leadership against both of us on a global basis. And now, unfortunately, you're seeing that, in fact, it's actions just like this, that if it's not properly investigated here domestically, will only reinforce the point, at least from a global basis, that we have, after 75, 85 years since World War II, really acquiesced our moral high ground on a global basis.
I agree with you.
Thank you, Kevin.
And let's go to Eduardo from Cyprus. Eduardo, welcome to Hello Houston.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Question. Do you think we're doing the right thing in sending the rockets and destroying those boats that are coming from drug dealers? Do you think the administration of Donald Trump is doing the right thing?
No. In a word, no, we're not doing
yeah.
the right thing. We're not properly investigating. Even if the drones followed that boat for a long time and determined there were drugs on that boat. Now, can't we intercept? I mean, if we are quote unquote at war with somebody, we can intercept a boat with all the boats we have and settle it from there. But to blow people out of the water is just barbaric, in my opinion.
Yeah. Eduardo, thank you for calling. My reaction to that would also be we are not privy to all the information that the administration is privy to. That's not to forgive or ignore what they're doing, but I don't know that we have all the facts behind it. But on the surface, it looks like this is an inappropriate way of going about what they're doing. Where those boats are located, to where they're going, do they pose an immediate threat to our nation? Do we know the path at which these drugs go?
And what drugs are they? Don't you have to have different ingredients for fentanyl and meth? I mean, that they have to be manufactured. So what is, when they say drugs are on that boat, what really
right. I don't think we know enough to know what's, and that's why I think the Congress, the Senate, they need to investigate this. We should not be in this action without, and maybe on some level it has been determined that we are unaware of, but what happened with seeing two survivors in the water, though, is, I believe, inappropriate.